Have you got a GivEnergy system with a fault or some sort of weird issue? Now, obviously, I can't help with everything out there, especially hardware problems, but I would say at least 3/4 of the issues that I see on the Facebook groups and online in general are fixable by the user themselves. Some will require an installer, of course, but a lot you can do yourself, especially things related to settings, doing something strange, Wi-Fi. That was the bane of GivEnergy support desk's existence. But now we don't have GivEnergy support, you have to do it yourself. Now, I'm very much a big fan of this. I want people to maintain their own car in terms of tyre pressures and oil. Not to service it yourself, but to do the basics. And it's the same with these things. When there's an email you can just fire a support request off to, a lot of people will choose to do that rather than look for the answer themselves. In fact, I would say that probably 80% of the support tickets that GivEnergy got were just, here's the link to the video that will help you out. So the video was always there, but someone chose to email instead of searching. So this, if I'm being very brutally honest for a second, is born with a little bit of frustration, mainly due to the 20 odd years in IT support where you get asked to fix the same thing over and over again instead of the person learning how to fix it themselves. But that's the past and I need to get over that. This is a video where I'm going to basically say, right, these are the common issues. These are where you find the answers, essentially. I'm going to put lots of links in the description of this video, and I might do it as a pinned comment as well at the top of the comment section, so you can find the links directly to what you need. So let's start with familiarizing yourself with whatever GivEnergy system you have. Now, this should have been done by your installer after it was installed. They should have said, this is how you safely isolate the system, this is how you can shut it down, this is the app, this is how you set up charge times, this is the portal, this is how you can do X, Y, and Z. The trouble is, most people never got that, and a lot of people I've spoken to online don't even know what the portal is, which is basically a givenergy.cloud website. There are 2 videos that I would encourage you to watch if you've got something strange happening. And it might be, I say this a lot, it might be, oh, my app's not working. Well, it's probably nothing to do with the app just gets its stuff from the system. If the system's offline, it looks like the app's offline and people get to the wrong conclusion. So the first video I would suggest watching is the basic diagnostics in terms of hardware. Again, I will put a link up or something here and all the links in the description and so forth. That will basically say, well, check this, check this, check this, check this, check this. Is all good? Does this look how it should look? Yes? Right, okay. Now, do this video, which is basic software diagnostics. Go here, go here, go here, look in your logs. This is how you can track down what the problem may be. Those 2 alone, I wanted to make part of like a welcome pack, which never got sent out, never got implemented in the years, and no matter how much I banged my head against the wall, it never happened. But it would have solved a lot of these issues. Wi-Fi. This, again, has a video specifically how to diagnose your Wi-Fi problems. So there's 2 things to look at. There's this and there's your own router. Now, if you change router, just put your SSID and your password back to what it was. Essentially, I'm giving you a little synopsis of this video here. This will help you out if you've got any Wi-Fi problems. And if you want to reconnect your system back to your Wi-Fi, again, there's tons of help videos on the GivEnergy website for each model to say, here, this is how you manually do it. Another one that's included is how to configure your router so something like this can connect to it, because this is just an Internet of Things device, like a doorbell, like a smart plug or speaker or something like that. It's basic internet connectivity. If you put your laptop or an iPad next to this and say, well, I've got a signal, it's not the same thing, unfortunately. This is what you can take off on at least the Gen 3 inverters anyway. Originally, apparently, it was going to be plastic, but they had to change it to metal, presumably for some sort of safety reasons. But by that point, it was too late. The aerial is inside a metal cage, which obviously affects the Wi-Fi signal. The all-in-one, that's got an external aerial. This, you can simply unscrew the aerial inside, put an external aerial that you buy for next to nothing off Amazon, and it increases the antenna essentially for this. It means that you'll get a much better signal if you're in a position where yours is quite weak. So with all those videos, hopefully 90% of the Wi-Fi problems are fixed. But if you change your router and your GivEnergy system is offline, don't shout at this. You've changed your internet connectivity. That's what took it offline, and now you just need to reconnect it again. It does have certain requirements, WPA2 for example, 2.4 gigahertz, as many other things do as well. But once they're in place, it's generally okay. Before you even watch any of those, if you do have any Wi-Fi problems, first restart your router and then restart this completely, as in shut the whole thing down, turn it back on again in the correct order. Again, there's a video for each particular product on how to do a proper shutdown and restart. That's essentially turning it off and on again. So you've restarted your router, then you've restarted this. If it's still not online, then you have to look into it further. But they're the things I would do absolutely first. Restart, restart. The whole IT crowd of you turned it off and on again. It's true. It solves many problems. Same with these. Another common issue is when the inverter says it's locked out. So basically you go on the app, you try and tell it to charge or something like that, and it goes, your inverter is locked. That's because you've handed control over to someone like Octopus, for example, an energy provider who can tell it when to charge and when to discharge. That's because to get onto the tariff you're on, you connected your system to them and said, here you go. It's part of the terms and conditions. So if you're seeing that, it's because you've joined onto a tariff and probably not read the T&Cs, if I'm being blunt. That's why it's locked out, because part of being on that tariff is that you give control to somebody else. In this case, it would be Octopus. You can release that, and there is again a video on the GivEnergy support site on how to release this properly, but it has to be done by Octopus. So don't delete the API key or anything like that. All that does is sever the connection so Octopus can't send the unlock command. Again, more details in the actual video. And finally, something which I think is probably worth doing, but it does come at a cost in terms of a financial cost. Now, these don't really need any maintenance, but a yearly or maybe every 2 years checkup by an electrician or the installer ideally, I don't think it's a bad idea, because a lot of these are, high voltage cables going into sockets, and if they're not torqued correctly, which frequently they weren't, I've seen many examples of this, heating up and expansion and contraction, all that sort of stuff, the cables can basically come loose over time. Again, if they weren't torqued correctly, whether it's here or your consumer unit. So having someone come up and basically check every cable, is it still okay? Is there any signs of any thermal damage? I don't think it's a bad idea, because sometimes it's quite obvious. We have many occasions where a rodent of sorts, especially if the system's outside, has chewed through a cable, and there you go, problem is quite obvious. But sometimes the problem will be in here or in your consumer unit, and the cable has come loose, or they've pinched the sheathing, which doesn't immediately show itself, but eventually will do and causes problems. So the whole it's worked fine for ages and then it suddenly stopped, it doesn't mean it wasn't a problem during installation. It could be just one of those that hasn't showed itself up yet. So I think getting them checked out every year or two is never a bad idea, just to make sure everything is tight and all the cables look okay. Yes, they're designed with no maintenance in mind, but it's never a bad thing to make sure everything is as it should be on something that costs thousands of pounds. Prevention is always cheaper than the cure. So it's one of those sort of, it's the reason why you get your car serviced, why you get the oil changed, why you get your brakes stripped and cleaned and put back together again. You don't wait until it breaks, you maintain them. So that's what I would do. Not just GivEnergy, any battery system. I would probably say, it's been in a couple of years now, I want everybody, or somebody to come and check to make sure everything's fine. You can do a visual check. Is there any obvious cable damage? Is there anything that's sticking out? Is there any, burnt marks anywhere? Is there anything that shouldn't be, which you can just do a quick visual check? It doesn't need any specialist knowledge. If there was a burnt mark on there, for example, then I need to stop using that and get somebody out pronto. Get familiar with the system that you've got. Do the the basic diagnostic check for the hardware and the software. That alone will teach you a lot more about how to diagnose an issue, especially the logs in the portal. They tell you an awful lot. So there we have it. There we go. Hopefully I've pointed you in the right direction. GivEnergy.cloud is the portal, and if you go to GivEnergy's website and then click, just find support basically, and it takes you to all the help videos that at least were put up before they went into administration anyway, but pretty much everything's there for the basics. And again, a lot of this can be fixed yourself. This is hopefully going to be of some use to you. Hopefully it will solve some problems. Please do let me know in the comments if you've watched some of these videos and gone, I fixed it myself. I'd love to hear anybody that's had success from this. If you do have any hardware problems, then it's installer time only, I'm afraid, at this stage. There's nothing I can do about that at all. I'm in the same position. So, yeah, there we have it. Thank you ever so much for watching. See you soon. And please do like and subscribe. And, well, have a good day.